This, of course, is where the American phenomenon of pot smoking really began, the college campuses. Not really began because, after all, the college kids stole the idea from the artists and the musicians, but this is where it really took hold. And so far, it hasn't left. It's not unusual to find students at UCSD or most other campuses smoking marijuana out in the open. Let me ask you a question. Is that any good? Hey.
Would you like to try it?
No thanks, but...
Some people like ice cream and others don't.
Is this how you usually spend your lunch?
It's always nice after eating.
It's pretty accepted, very accepted.
How often do you smoke pot?
I'm rare once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Once a week, and once every 2 weeks, and that's considered rare?
Yeah, there's a lot of people 3-4 times a week.
How often do you smoke pot?
2 or 3 times a week.
2 or 3 times a week?
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who does not smoke pot?
No.
In recent years, manufacturers and retailers have realized there's money to be made in catering to the pot smokers' needs. While the drug may be illegal, gadgets like these to help you smoke it are sold over the counter like so many pieces of bubble gum.
Okay, first off, you fill this up with water, wine, whatever. Then you put your merchandise in here and light it up. And the smoke comes down here and filters up through these air hoses into the liquid.
Explain to me how this one right here works.
Okay, you put your stash compartment in here. Well, this is your stash compartment. All you have to do is slide it back and fill it up, you know. Then you've got a choke here, a choke hole, that when you you let your finger off the hole, and that clears all the smoke out of it.
Works kind of like a carburetor.
Yeah, exactly, like a carburetor. That's what it's called. This last one here, it's all single action. You use one finger, one hand, and you can light your toke up, or light your bowl, whatever you like. It's pretty big demand for them.
You pride yourself on having a pretty good stock of them.
Yes, sir, we do.
The current controversy over the spraying of Mexican marijuana fields with the chemical paraquat is another indication of how widely accepted pot smoking has become. The fact that paraquat may be harmful to pot smokers is not being viewed as a deterrent to use of the drug, and therefore a good thing. Instead, society is concerned about the effects of paraquat, so much so that the Mexican government has labeled the whole issue as anti-Mexican propaganda. When you leave the college campus, it's much more difficult to pin down just who smokes pot and who doesn't. During the filming of this report, we asked young and old, rich and poor, if they accept marijuana as part of their lives. Here were their reactions.
For the first time, we saw it yesterday, and it was pitiful. Young kids, 13 and 14, so out of it that they didn't know what was going on. It's sad, really sad.
How old are you?
15 and a half.
Do you smoke pot?
Yes.
When did you start?
Probably about 11 and a half.
11 years old.
Yeah.
How about your friends? Did they start that early also?
I don't know, a few of them. It seems like kind of I don't know, if you're going to get into it, it seems like a standard age.
I'm an attorney.
Okay. How accepted is pot smoking among the attorneys that you know?
It's never discussed.
Never discussed?
Never discussed.
Never comes up at all?
Not to my knowledge.
How about yourself?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, you're in the Navy.
Yeah.
How accepted is pot smoking in the Navy, among the guys?
I don't know, really. It's weird. How accepted is it? I think those people that I know, if they smoke it, they don't really talk about it. We don't talk about it.
You're saying then that there are some who do, some who don't?
Sure, of course.
I've never had anybody light up in front of me, but I've been into situations where I felt if I didn't make who I was known to the people that it was going to happen, and so I always stopped the proceedings and said, here's who I am, and here's how I feel, and here's what's going to happen if you do, and they don't.
It's just a regular thing, you like to get high, you like to smoke good red Colombian, red bud Colombian, Kona Gold, Thai sticks,
I'd like to ask you how accepted pot smoking is among your circles of friends, people that you know.
It really depends on how old people are. It's kind of a generational thing, and I wouldn't say that among one class of citizens it's any different than it is among any other, except for the age involved.
Do you find that as governor it puts you in a different position if you're in a social situation?
Well, I have never been in that kind of a social situation because I don't put myself in this.
You've never been in a place where pot was smoked?
Not if I can, not if I'm aware of it. Not while I'm governing it.
Even though marijuana has come out of the closet in recent years, it still hasn't reached the shelves of your corner store. You can't go out and buy a pack of marijuana like you can a bottle of whiskey. The fact is that society as a whole has still not reached a decision about pot smoking. The jury is still out. Bill Selby, News 8.